there's always like the 30-second lag in between when you first start.
Yeah.
All right, we are live. Hello, guys. How is everybody doing today? We'll say a quick hello before we get started. That way, a few people can pop on and whatnot. So, hello, Elemental. Hello, Jackie. Hello, Simon. How are you? Chantel. I hope everybody is doing well. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. So today, I am starting, I guess, a new series on my channel where I bring on other YouTubers and we kind of just have fun. We ask questions, we get to know each other, not be so serious all the time, So first up, we have the lovely Becca from Becca Talks and Tarot. You want to go ahead and say hi, Miss Becca, introduce yourself, let everybody know, what you do on your channel and things like that.
Okay. Hi, everybody, and up Simon and Jackie and all my pals. I can see popping up there, which is really nice, and people that I don't know too. Hello. So my name's Becca, and on my channel, I kind of do a mixture of all kinds of stuff. I do deck reviews and unboxings, but not very often.
Right.
So I generally incorporate my tarot into my daily life and talk about that as well. And my dogs, of course, they've kind of got themselves
their own part.
Yeah, I mean they made me do it, so they weren't going to have me on YouTube without them being on there as well. So yeah.
Awesome. I love that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just start asking you, the basic questions and whatnot. And of course, if you guys have questions for Miss Becca as well, please post them in the comment section. That way, feel free to ask questions if there's anything you want to know. So the first question I guess I have for you, Miss Becca, is just the simple kind of question. What is it that you I really don't like labels very much, but I guess this is like a simple, basic question. What is it that you call yourself in regards to your practice? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a tricky one because I don't like labels either. So,
right.
I mean, I've tried to label. I think I'm definitely pagan.
Okay.
But I'm also a little bit of a witch in there as well.
Okay.
I just like to class myself as spiritual. And I take bits from what gels with me, and I work with it. I don't have a label for myself. I've tried, but it doesn't work.
I agree. I completely agree. Just as I said in your life too, I'm open to anything. I just call myself, spiritual type of person. So I completely agree with you. Now, when did you first get an interest in your journey?
In tarot.
Yes, or in anything in general, your spirituality.
Okay, well, I spent 45 years of my life being involved in and having grown up in a really fundamentalist Christian belief system.
Right.
And I finally broke free from that because I didn't believe any of it.
Right.
And I was able to do that when I actually got my own home, which was 5 years ago. So at the age of 45, I was the first time I was free.
Right. I love that.
So then I was free to go down, and I wanted to know everything.
You were free to explore.
Yeah, everything about everything. I'd always had like a sneaky little interest in tarot and like witchcraft as well. So once I went down the tarot route, I was hooked.
Yes, I agree. So how long have you been practicing tarot?
That would be 5 years this October.
Right. So basically, as soon as you were on your own, you were like, all right, I'm going to do it, you know?
I ordered a tarot deck off of Amazon, and
Uh-huh.
it was a centennial weight. And
Right.
I remember when the package arrived, I sat staring at it for ages because I'd never held a tarot deck, and I'd got in my hands
Uh-huh.
something that I'd been taught all my life was evil.
Right.
Um,
It's such like a weird feeling, but at the same time you get excited, right?
yeah, I mean, yeah, I was mesmerized when I first opened that package, and I looked at the deck. I was mesmerized by it, and I from that point on I wanted to know so much more, you know.
Mhm.
So I did.
So then let me ask you this. Did you find it a little difficult to connect with your tarot deck, or did you find it difficult to learn your way around it? Or when you first started, did you try to do more so like, how do I say it, like your own interpretations, or did you try learning the actual system of how it's supposed to go? What was your initial beginning as far as that tarot on how you learned, basically?
Well, the first being an RWS deck, because I thought, you know, that was the only tarot really.
Hmm.
I didn't like the images at all.
Right.
I really couldn't gel with them at first.
Hmm.
So somebody sent me a copy of the Spirit Song
Ooh.
tarot,
Uh-huh.
um, and you know that was completely different.
Uh-huh.
And I got myself a book, which I later realised it was probably the most complicated book I could possibly have got.
Right.
Um, so I got this book, and I worked my way through it for about 18 months, slogged my way through this book,
Uh-huh.
and I kind of learned the Marseille system and the RWS system side by side.
At the same time. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, and once I'd got that, I then started to look at the RWS in a completely different way,
Right.
you know, and I saw its beauty, and
Uh-huh.
I could use it because I understood it now,
Right.
you know.
Mm, that is
So
awesome. I love that. Okay, so I know there's going to be tons of question on this. Now that you have, a collection of tarot decks, how many do you know exactly how many do you have or about around how many decks you have in your collection?
uh, you know, funnily enough, yesterday I was thinking I need to do my complete tarot collection
Right.
video. I'm looking over there because that's where my bookshelf is. I'm not sure. I think it's probably maybe around 40 tarot, and I've got maybe about 20 oracle decks. But I might be wrong on that. I'm not sure because I've had a few that have been added since I last looked. But yeah, about I would say maybe 40 or 50.
That's awesome. Oh my goodness. Okay, so at the time being, do you have maybe like a top three favorites for right now, or what are your top favorites that you generally tend to use?
Oh well, for it I've been hooked lately on the tarot, the Grand Lux tarot. I
Uh-huh.
didn't think I would love that so much because it was different than I've had before. But I'm
Mhm.
also liking. I love the Shadowland tarot
Oh yes, I love
because
that too.
yeah, it's funny and it's quirky,
Yes.
and surprised that I really love the Dark Wood tarot as much as as I have. I think because we reviewed that with the Tarot Times last week or the
Mhm.
week before, I think.
Mhm.
Um, it's very different than anything I've I've got very like fairy tale kind of Disney almost,
Right.
but dark Disney.
Yeah, dark Disney type, which I like too. I like a variety of them, so I love
Yeah,
it. Free. Yeah, like I said, I love the Shadowland too. I was planning on using that during the month of October, switching from that one and the Halloween tarot.
yeah,
Oh, that would be a fun mixture.
yeah.
All right, so let me go ahead and ask you this now. Do you use any other tools, I guess, for divination besides tarot in your practice?
Not really. I mean, I use Oracle.
Hmm.
Um, no, I don't. No, I don't really. I did have a pendulum at
Uh-huh.
one time, but I broke it. Um, and so I've got crystals around, but they're not used for divination. But no, not really. I've
Really?
just got the tarot, but maybe one day I'll get into using something else as well. But
Yes, that's awesome. So do you read for other people or just for yourself, or what do you do in regards to that nature?
well, I have done readings for other people. Paid readings.
Mhm.
I haven't done any in a while. I put an advert in my the what Yellow Pages.
That's
I don't
awesome.
know if you have it over in the US.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I had quite a few all at once come. I
Wow.
had about 5 or 6 people that I did readings
Uh-huh.
for.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I tried a little stint on one of those telephone line thingies,
Yeah.
but
Uh-huh.
that was bloody awful.
I can
Um,
imagine.
God, it was terrible. It was the worst experience ever. And somebody was talking about it this afternoon
Mm.
um, on Simon's channel, and it's so impersonal. You don't know who they are. You can't see their face.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, so now I'm not doing anything like that, but I do offer that if
Mhm.
anybody ever approaches me. So,
That's awesome. So what gave you the inspiration to then start your YouTube channel?
well, I once I got my first tarot deck,
Mhm.
I went onto YouTube to look for tarot reviews
Mhm.
or how to use the RWS,
Right.
and then all these channels popped up, and
Uh-huh.
I couldn't believe that there was this whole like community of people
I know,
that were
right?
that were doing reviews, and they were talking about different stuff, and they were and I thought, oh wow, I can't believe this. I so want to be part of this.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
I I listened. One of the first channels that I came across actually was the Hermit's Cave channel, and
Simon.
Simon was talking about, yeah, he
Mhm.
was talking about his experiences of the Mormon Church,
Uh-huh.
and it so resonated with me because that's what I wasn't Mormon, but I got everything he was saying, and I I messaged him. I think I did, yeah. And the rest was kind of history. But I'd started a little itty bitty channel at that time,
Uh-huh.
because I wanted to be part of it, and um, yeah, I just wanted to be involved with all these wonderful people, and it's opened up, um, you know, doorways, and I've got friends for life.
Exactly.
One usually people that we actually get together in the flesh, and you know, I can call them friends. So
I know,
yeah,
don't you love that? I think that's initially why I wanted to start a YouTube channel as well, because I had already started my channel, but it had nothing to do with tarot or anything like that. I was just kind of talking about other subjects along, those lines that, I liked because, like dreams and crystals and herbs and like things of that nature. And then when I really saw that there was other people doing tarot, it kind of piqued my interest. And I was like, ooh, I've always wanted to do that. And of course, I had dabbled in tarot here and there. I tried learning things here and there and whatnot. So I kind of really was like, all right, I think I'm going to do this. And then, like, a few months later, I started realizing people did live readings on YouTube. And I thought that was awesome. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that. So one day I just did win a live. I got my tarot deck and I was like, all right, let's see how this goes. And
Yeah.
almost like 7, 8 months later, I do lives very frequently now, and I've learned a lot, and I've met a lot of people just as you. And as you said, like we get to make friends that actually, have the same point of views. Because I know a lot of us, like including myself, we don't have people, in our own community where we live to where we can talk about these things and
Yeah.
So it's really helpful to meet a whole community of people that enjoy to do what you do and not think you're crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, and I've said this a bunch of times, I think, on different occasions, but when I discovered YouTube and I made my first video, I was really lonely. I
Right.
was isolated as well because I was no longer part of that whole, everything that I'd been part of,
Hmm.
um, friends and everything like that were to do with the church.
Right. Mm.
And all of a sudden, I was on my own. I didn't have that structure anymore.
Yeah.
And so I was in a really lonely place.
Hmm.
And I always say that, YouTube literally changed my life. It took me from a lonely place
Hmm.
to a a community that got me, that understood me, that I could talk about all this stuff with.
Hmm.
Um, and all of a sudden, I wasn't on my own anymore. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I love that. That is so awesome. All right, so there is quite a few people in the chat. So what do you say we open questions to people in the chat? You good with that?
yeah, go
Yeah.
for it.
Awesome. Okay,
Yep,
so if you guys have any questions for Ms. Becca, please post it down below and we will get to answering those. All right. And thank you for everybody for joining. Hi, everybody. Sorry if I missed anybody. Night Reader, Ms. Weets, Elizabeth, Miss Kristen. How y'all doing today? So yes, guys, we are going to leave questions open for the comments. As I said, whatever you have for Ms. Becca, she is up for answering just about anything. So.
yeah, that's what Renee said to me. Is there anything you don't want me to ask, or anything you don't want me to talk about? And there isn't really.
Yeah.
You know, I've had so much of my life where I've kept secret
Uh-huh. Right.
about what I believed, about who I was as a person,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, I don't do that anymore.
I agree. Growing up too, I was very quiet. I was very shy. I was very to myself. I didn't really like to speak my mind. But once I started to, get into my journey and became who I became, I'm like, well, what's the point? I'm open to like anything.
Yeah, yeah,
So
me
I
too. Yeah.
I agree. Okay, so Miss Lisa Amber says, "What is Becca's favorite type of crystal? Um, e.g., amethyst, jasper, etc. What is your favorite crystal, Miss Becca?" Oh, is the connection still
Oh,
good?
I love fluorite.
Ooh, uh-huh.
I think so. It was a little bit jittery then, wasn't it? But
Yeah, but that
um,
happens.
so I love fluorite. I love I green is my favorite color. So
Uh,
the first time I clapped eyes on fluorite, I loved it. I loved the vibration that I got from it. I
mhm,
also love selenite. I'd never heard of selenite, and
uh-huh.
way back at the start of my journey, somebody sent me a selenite, a big selenite point,
Right.
and I'd never seen that before, and it kind of has its own light from within. So
Right.
those are my two favourites.
Uh-huh.
But you know, they're all gorgeous. Yeah, they're just all gorgeous. I don't know all their names.
Uh-huh.
I get sent some crystals sometimes, and I have to look them up in my crystal Bible.
Right.
So I swap one Bible for another Bible,
I know,
but
right?
fluorite and selenite.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love crystals. I always tell people, like, every time people ask me that question, what's your favorite crystal? I'm like, I have like 5 of them. Like, I can never pick like just one. It's so hard, that category. Oh my gosh. But you had some
Yeah,
good choices. Selenite is definitely one of my favorites too, because it really keeps like a calm and cleansing type of energy. And of course, it helps with angel communication and whatnot. And just the way it looks. I mean, it looks like the moon, like when you move it around and whatnot, you know how it glows the way it does. And to me,
yeah.
it's the moon.
But I think the way I look at crystals is they kind of they they choose you, I think,
Yeah.
because as soon as I see anything green, I'm drawn to it.
Yeah.
Absolutely drawn to it. A friend of mine gave me a malachite dish
Uh-huh.
with a malachite egg in it.
Okay.
And she didn't know what it was. She bought it for me because it was green,
Yeah.
and I discovered it was malachite. But there's other ones like what's the other green one that's really quite
Uh,
bright?
I know there's a green aventurine as well.
That's it. 'Cause there's an orange one and a green one, but the green one,
Yeah.
yeah, love that.
I know that has to be one of my favorites too, green aventurine, just because it brings prosperity and good luck, and who doesn't need that?
Yeah,
All
I
right,
certainly do.
I know, right? We got another question from Chantel Charm. She says, "What is your birthday card in tarot, Becca?"
Oh my God, I don't know.
You don't know? I
I
don't know that either. I don't think I know that.
I know my card for this year was the Tower.
Okay. Yeah.
That was pretty accurate for everybody.
I know.
But
Right?
I have worked it out before, but I'm not sure.
Not sure. I know. I don't even think I don't know mine either. So it's all right. We can go on to the next question. Miss Jackie says, "What is your favorite oracle deck?"
Oh, my favorite oracle deck is the vintage wisdom
Uh-huh.
oracle, but it comes a close second with no, I've done swap that round. The green wheel oracle is my favorite because it's beautiful. It's stuffed full of animals, and it's got the wheel of the year in it. It's got the moon phases,
Mhm.
um, and it's just beautiful. It's got, yeah. So second would be the vintage wisdom.
That's awesome. I love that. All right. So Miss Elizabeth is asking, what's Becca's life path number? Do you know that by any chance?
I haven't got a clue.
Yeah.
I'm so I don't I I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know how to work all these things out. You
Yeah.
know,
I
I
know
think it's all.
there is a astrology website where you can go in, and I forgot, Miss Elizabeth knows it, because she's very big into astrology as well. There's a website where you go and you list like your birthday, the time you were born, and it gives you like your whole chart, your sun, moon, and rising, and of course all your other planets and whatnot. And I believe it also gives you your life path number too. So if that's something that you would want to do, like I said, Miss Elizabeth, if you could post the website in the comment
Mm.
section, because I know she usually has it handy. I forgot what it's called, and I actually forgot my life path number too. I need to go back and check it. All right, let's see. We'll get to another question by Miss Wheats Tarot. She said, "When did you have your first magical experience with either crystal tarot or which ritual, and how was that for you?" Your first magical experience. I like that.
Well, I didn't realise that when I was a child, I used to stare into a mirror
Uh-huh.
and watch my your face changes shape and all that. I just used to stare at a mirror. I hadn't got
Uh-huh.
a clue why I used to do it, but years later, now people do it and they call it scrying.
Right.
So
Uh-huh.
I think way back then, I was scrying. I didn't know what it was.
You didn't even
Um,
realize.
didn't even realize it. So, I would have been maybe 8, 7, 8 years old. And I just
Mhm.
used to do that. And I didn't know why I did it, but I did. As
Right.
far as tarot, the first tarot deck I got was a magical experience because it was filled with so much excitement and
Right.
everything. And ritual wise, when Simon came to stay with me last time, we did together a full moon ritual and we did it out the front of where I live.
Uh-huh.
And we did it we had the cauldron and we put our intentions in and we burnt those intentions
Mhm.
um, under the full moon.
Right.
And I think that was the most powerful kind of magical experience. And to do that with, um, you know, what I consider to be I'm now my best pal,
Yeah.
um,
I love that.
was
That's so sweet.
that was magical. It really was.
Yeah. Simon says I loved it.
Yeah, it was excellent. Yeah, and there was nobody around outside. It was a clear night. The moon was um brilliant,
Big.
you know. Yeah, so I loved it.
That is awesome. All right. I don't see any other questions here. Kitty Cat, long time no see. How are you? Hi, Gingerface, Miss Lisa, Tosh. Glad everybody could make it. Miss Wheat says, yes, I call it mirror magic. Yeah, that is so awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. All
I've
right.
got I've got a book on scrying and I did kind of look into it and it was I was sent a whole pile of like magic books. I had one about spells, one about scrying, one about the moon,
Mhm.
and it was then when I got this book on scrying, I thought, what is this? And I read it and I thought, I know what that is.
Yeah. I've been doing that since I was a kid.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So then what book are you reading right now? Do you have a specific book that you go to very often, about that, or are you reading one right now on that subject as well?
Not I haven't got a book that I'm currently um reading. I've been really enthralled by the Darkwood Tarot book
Mm.
that comes with the box. That I
Right,
think is an amazing book to read on its own. It's brilliant. It tells like a story. But
right,
I've got a bunch of books that I use for reference all the time. In fact, I think I did a video with my 5 witchy books.
right.
I've got one
That's
by Lucy Cavendish,
mhm,
um, which is a fairly big book.
mhm.
So I kind of delve in and out of all my books for reference and things like that. I struggle with reading like a whole thing because of I suffer with chronic fatigue syndrome.
Right.
So my concentration is horrible when it comes to reading.
Mhm. Mine too.
Um,
I can't read for too long.
no, so most of the time, if I want to really delve into a book, I'll get it on Audible,
Mhm. Right. Yeah.
so I can listen to it, and
Uh,
that works.
Yeah, I think that works best for me too, because like I said before, I'm an Aries, so my mind is constantly running and thinking about a million things at one time. So for me to sit down and read a book, I'm not only reading the book, but I'm like thinking of other things at the same time. So I get distracted and then I'm like, what did I just read? Like, I really need to work on
Yeah,
that.
I end up reading the same line about 5 times, and I
Yeah.
actually get my eyes to focus down on the next line. It's
Mhm.
horrible, but thank goodness for Audible.
Yeah. All right. Oh, Miss Chantel is asking, what is the last deck you ordered, Miss Becca? I love that.
Oh gosh, the last deck I ordered, I can't remember the name of it. It's the one we're doing for Tarot Times.
Mm.
Simon, can you remind me, or Sandra, if Sandra's there, what is it? That's the last one I've ordered, but I can't remember the name.
It's all right.
It's it's the one we're doing for Tarot Times next time. Um,
Yeah.
but help me, Simon, I can't remember.
Patricia S is asking, do you have a self-care ritual and would you like to share it with us? Do you have any type of ritual do you like to do for yourself?
Um, I'm not as good at like self-care as I should be.
Uh-huh.
Um, I I think none of us are really, are we? We need to kind of self-care more.
Right.
But um, my self-care time is in the evening when my dogs are asleep.
Yeah.
That is my time
Uh-huh.
because, and it's then that I can light my incense.
Right.
I can pull a card or two before I go to bed.
Mhm.
Um, it's just quiet. I'm
Right.
a real night owl. So
Me
those are the times when I can do that. Thank you, Sandra. Power of the Divine.
There
That
you
was
go.
the, that was the last deck I ordered.
Hi, Elle. Welcome. Even Simon said, I've gone blank.
You and me both, kid.
All right. Well, if anybody has any other questions, I'll leave it open for a couple of more minutes. If not, we can go ahead and, move on to other things and whatnot. So yeah, like I said, I'll leave the questions open for a few more minutes. I know a couple people have just came in. So yes, and then we'll move on to other things.
Ooh, okay.
It's already been half an hour, Miss Becca. Can you believe that?
It goes so fast, doesn't it?
I
You know,
told
when you,
I told you sometimes an hour feels like 10 minutes. Oh my gosh.
I know, I
Mm,
know. What Lisa says I sound like a mom.
yeah. She is a mom. She's a dog mommy.
These two, they are a handful. My day is filled with catering for their every need.
Oh, I
You
bet.
know, eh,
Uh-huh.
they come to me, they want food. They
Yeah.
come to me, they want to go out. They come to me, they want to cuddle.
Uh-huh.
We walked across the field today, which
Oh.
Mabel is in her element, and they've just cut all the grass.
Mm-hmm.
So she was diving on top of this grass, and being a Jack Russell,
Mm-hmm.
she stops and listens because
Mm-hmm.
she can hear critters.
Right.
So, I was exhausted after this. I was knackered. When I got home, I sat down and they both sat in front of me
Mm-hmm.
because they wanted food. I couldn't even have a rehydrate
Yeah.
before.
Oh, give me a second. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I've had dogs. I've had a horse. I've had what else have I had? I've had pigs. I've had many different animals, and yeah, animals are a lot of work.
Yeah, they are, but
Oh,
worth it.
Miss Tosh wants to know the story about your rabbit picture behind you.
Oh, this one. Which one? That one.
Probably that one.
Yeah,
Or both of them.
my sister did that for me. She does um, classed as colouring, but it that doesn't do it justice. She uses all these kind of like oil-based pens and watercolor pens.
Hmm.
So she actually um, that created that for me.
Oh,
Um,
that's awesome.
yeah, she does an amazing job. I've got another one over there, and
Mhm.
she's got her own little channel that she started as well. So and she's doing really well. I'm proud of her.
That is awesome. I love that. Oh yes, Miss Elizabeth. She said she wasn't sure of her life path number. She was asking again.
No, Elizabeth, I've got no clue, but I will find out for sure after this, and I'm going to write it down. So next time I'm asked, I will know my stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and just ask you more so fun questions, I guess, about your personality and not so much your craft. Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah, sure. You go for it.
Okay. So my first question is, do you have any favorite movies or shows that you like to watch? I'm a big movie buff, so that's why that's
Oh,
always my favorite question to ask.
yeah, me too. I'm a real horror buff. I love horror films.
Uh-huh.
My favorite horror film ever is The Conjuring 2, the second one, about the Enfield haunting in I love that. I must have watched that. Oh, I can't recall how many times. Um, I also, when everybody came to stay with me last time,
Uh-huh.
Elle, Simon, Sandra, Debbie, and Simon, we
I
watched
love that, by
Midsummer.
the way. I love that, by the way, the lives and videos that y'all did. Oh my gosh, I was there watching the entire time.
Midsummer was an awesome movie. I love that, but I also love The Right with Anthony Hopkins.
Ooh,
Um,
yes, I like that movie too. I mentioned that movie not too long ago, I believe. Yeah.
yeah, he
Mhm.
is. I mean, I love him. He's so good. But in that movie, he nailed it, and he was so
Right.
creepy.
It gave me the
Yeah,
chills, but I liked it. Even my husband enjoys that movie too.
yeah, it is brilliant. I think he makes it brilliant.
Yeah. Okay, so then what is your favorite foods? Like what do you enjoy to eat, whenever
Uh,
you can?
well, I I can't have anything like chocolate or crisps in my house because if I do, then I will eat the whole lot. So if I order a pack of something, it'll be gone by the end of the day.
Uh-huh.
Um, so, chocolate and junk really is
Yeah.
my favorite if I allowed myself, but I can't. So, um, I also enjoy chips or fries.
Yes, me too. Me too.
I love
Me too. I'm so bad when it comes to junk food or snacks. Like, I'm just like, "Oh, I need to stop myself, but I can't."
Yeah, I know. Anything basically that I shouldn't eat is what I love to eat.
And
Um,
you just
it's
can't help yourself.
torture.
Yeah, I agree. So, what is your favorite drink? What do you like to drink?
What do you mean? In what, like alcohol wise or soft drink wise?
Alcohol or soft drink or both? You can name both.
Um, well, I like Diet Coke.
Hmm.
If I always tend to sort of like have Diet Coke in the house.
Hmm.
Um, I drink loads of tea. I'm getting into coffee actually,
Ooh.
which surprises me.
Hmm.
Um, Alcohol, unfortunately, I can't drink because certain medications that I take they don't work well together.
Right.
So, but if I was allowed to drink alcohol, um, I, I don't like the taste of it very much.
Right.
So when I was younger, I used to have whatever it was, so long as it was mixed with Coke.
Right.
and
Mm-hmm.
then you couldn't taste the alcohol.
Yeah,
Things like Malibu. Do you remember Malibu?
that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that didn't taste so like alcoholic, but
Right.
it did.
Not so
It
strong.
yeah, but
Hmm.
it did the job.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think Malibu was one of the first things I ever tried when I first started, having alcoholic beverages. I waited till I turned 21. Okay, I was a good girl, and I waited till I turned 21. So the first drink I had was a Malibu coconut with Coke, and it was delicious.
That was very reserved of you, Renee, to wait till you were 21. I
Mhm.
can remember being like 15 years old. We used to go to the youth club. I mean,
Oh,
it makes me sound terrible, doesn't it? But I was actually like quite a sheltered child.
right.
But we used to go to the youth club on a Thursday, and
Mhm.
on the way there, we used to be able to talk somebody into going into the shop and buying this litre bottle of really cheap cider
Right.
called White Lightning.
Uh-huh.
White Lightning. And then, this sounds awful, but we used to go to the public toilet. We'd all cram into a cubicle, about six of us in this cubicle,
Uh-huh.
and we'd drink this litre of White Lightning.
Oh my gosh,
Um,
that
so
is so
pretty bad.
trust me, you're not the only one, okay? I've heard plenty of stories. So you're not that's why growing up, I
Yeah.
guess I didn't have like too many friends or whatnot, like during, high school and middle school, because I was very much like, reserved and, to myself. And, I didn't really drink or go party or anything like that. So growing up, I didn't really have like a lot of friends. I had my close friends, like best friends, but it would be like the same two people that would always
Yeah.
come over all the time, or I would always go over their house. But I was fine with that. Like, I'm more of a type of person, I don't like big crowds, and I don't like being around like so many people. So for me, growing up, that's basically how I was, around those lines.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, basic. I didn't until, I mean, around about 15 years old, when um I actually got some close friends.
Mhm.
They were in the same year as me. Um and they actually persuaded my parents to allow me to go to the youth club on a Thursday. They
Mhm.
weren't really thrilled at the idea, but they said yes. But
Yeah.
little did they know what I was getting up to. By the
Right.
time we came out of that public toilet cubicle, having emptied that bottle of White Lightning,
Uh-huh.
you know, we we were absolutely. We've got a phrase over in the UK for being drunk called like trolled.
Okay, I love that.
Absolutely trolled. By the time we got to the youth club, yeah, those
I'm
were the days.
gonna start saying that now. My husband's gonna look at me like, "What'd you just say?"
Yeah. Oh.
All right. So I guess for the remainder of the live, Miss Becca, I would like to offer you a reading. If that's something that you would want from me. I know that last time in your life we kind of did a little bit of it, but in my life I kind of would like to dig deeper. If that's something that you want, I can offer you either a mediumship or tarot or both. If that is something that you want, just let me know.
If
So yeah,
if you've got time for both, the mediumship reading sounds awesome. When you said about it, I was really excited because I've never had one before. So
awesome. I
yeah.
love that. Okay, so basically, just to give you an idea of how I like to do the mediumship readings, is it's basically if you have a certain person on the other side that you would like to connect with, that's how I do it. It would be really helpful if you knew something about them. That way, if I ever say, oh, do they have black hair, or did they like to do this, or did they like to do that, you can be like, yes, like, that way that it's them. However, if not, we can always work around that too, because like I said, sometimes if you don't know, the other person on the other side as much, they just give me messages on what you kind of need to know already. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So, who, just let me know who it is you would like to connect with on the other side, who they were to you, and what their name was.
Well, I would, if possible, like to connect with my nana.
Okay.
Um, yeah, she died when I was 15 years old. And I'm looking up there because I've got a picture of her up there.
Uh-huh.
Her actual name was Maggie May, but she hated the name Maggie.
Okay.
So she was always known as May, and I've actually got her middle name. My actual name is Rebecca May.
I
So
love that.
yeah, that's her name.
Okay, awesome. Just give me a minute because I kind of like to take a minute to really focus and kind of welcome their energy in. Okay, so if you kind of see me just sitting here all quiet, that's what I'm trying to do. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So right away, I'm seeing somebody who has a very, big smile on her face. Was she generally a very happy person? Because I
Yeah.
see just like a big smile. That's the first thing that wanted to come through right away. Like she was very happy, very, she liked to help others and she was very generous and she gave her time to a lot of people. And I feel like she just has that loving grandma energy about her. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolute. Yeah, she was all of those things. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's the first thing that I kind of felt about her. Okay, hold on. Give me a minute. Did she spend a lot of time in the kitchen? And did she, like, is that where you guys had most of your conversations, while she was cooking and getting, dinner ready or lunch ready? Is that where you had most of your conversations? I think the connection
Yeah.
broke.
She, yeah, Nana was always in the kitchen she was always doing something in the
Uh-huh.
kitchen. Yeah. And as a child, I'd be with her quite a lot. While she was making stuff, I was interested in that, so we'd do it together. Yeah.
And watching her, yeah. The first thing, it looks like she's just like going back and forth, like putting different things together. And she showed me a kitchen area, and it looked like you were just kind of there watching her, but like interested at the same time. And that's how you guys would have most of your conversations, is kind of watching her do her thing. That is awesome. I love
Yeah.
that. Okay, go ahead. What were you going to
No,
say?
that's fine. I was just going to say that. Yeah, she was great at. She would always say, you know, if somebody came round and they were unexpected, oh, I don't have much
Yeah.
in terms of food, but then she'd produce this out of nowhere, this
Yeah.
lovely tea. So yeah,
Um,
she was,
always prepared, right, with something, even though she wasn't, right?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Awesome. Let me see if I can get anything else. Did she like to tell you a lot of spiritual stories?
She actually she did. Um, we had somebody in our family that was really into um, spiritualism and stuff like that. And
Right.
she'd tell me stories about her. In fact, she would say things like, um, "Your aunt Dorothy could tell stories that'd make your hair curl."
I love that. Yeah, because it looks like she's trying to tell you some sort of story. And for me, I felt like it was something spiritual. Like that was something that she really liked to try, not so much teach you, but she liked to really give you knowledge about, something spiritual. But at the same time, it doesn't look like she's very pushy on the subject. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
absolutely. Yeah, she used to say, I mean, when my parents um, became members of the Pentecostal church,
Hmm.
um, she was terrified for us because she'd always say, um, to her faith was private. It was
Right.
a private thing,
Right.
wasn't something that she would push on others. And
Hmm.
then all of a sudden, she was being told that what she believed wasn't right, it wasn't good enough.
Hmm.
And she didn't like that. She said, your whatever you believe is private.
Right.
It's not something to be shouted about and pushed on other people. So yeah, bang
Yeah.
on for her.
Yeah. Awesome. I love that. Yeah, she definitely seems like she has that personality to where she knew a lot spiritually, but she didn't like to push it on other people. She would like to tell you about certain things, but again, she wasn't the type of person to, as you said, be like, no, that was wrong, or no, that was right. Like she definitely wasn't that type of person. But at the same time, she just liked to welcome you to, the kind of things that she believed in at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. Yeah, she didn't. She certainly didn't ever kind of give me any impression that um, your personal faith or beliefs could be wrong
Hmm. Right.
because it was yours,
Hmm.
your journey, your spiritual path, and it wasn't anybody else's business. Certainly not anybody else's business to tell you that what you believed was wrong. So
Exactly. Mhm. Yeah, she
yeah,
definitely has that about her. Let me see if she has any messages now that we know this is her. Because I kind of like to ask things about them and, who they were, just so like, yes, that's her. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
now that we've got her, let me see if she has any certain messages for you or whatnot. She definitely wants you to know that you have a lot of her qualities about her, and she's very proud of you and your journey. She's very proud that you had the strength to decide who you were for yourself. And she knows that was a very difficult process because, as you said, she went through the same exact thing. So, the first thing that she was telling me, like, again, she has like this big smile on her face, and she just wants you to know that she's proud of you for making your own choices, even if you feel like it was a little bit later down the road. She wants you to know that she's very proud of you and how far that you've come with your journey. And she wants you to expect more things to come. Okay. She said, expect more. There's a lot more that is going to be opening up to you, but at the same time, she doesn't want you to be frightened. She doesn't want you to be frightened by what's to come because she knows that, things can be a little bit scary. She knows that things can be a little bit, it's almost like a process. You have to build up little by little. So I don't know if there's something else in spirituality that you have been searching to gain as far as either, another gift or anything like that, because she wants you to know that she had gifts of her own also. I definitely believe, I get the feeling that she was an empath and that was her strongest gift. And because of that, it made her who who she was. But at the same time, she, as you said, she didn't like to project it onto other people because she felt what other people could feel. And because of that, that's where she got her strengths, her weaknesses, her personality. And that's where she knew a lot of things, even though she didn't really like to say it. So I believe that her strongest gift, she was an empath. And you know what an empath is, right? Where somebody has that ability to feel not
Yeah,
only what you feel, but what others around her feel. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. It does. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She was definitely definitely like that. She
Mm-hmm.
would be concerned for everybody, you know, all
Everybody.
the time. Even somebody that she doesn't know very well. She had a neighbour whose
Uh-huh.
parents went away and they left their teenage daughter
Oh my gosh.
there, and you know, late teens, but
Mm-hmm.
apparently this lass was crying, sitting on the back step,
Oh my
and my nan was really worried about her, and she was saying to my said to my dad, go round and ask, you know, ask if she's okay. And like mum and dad said, no, you know, we're not, just leave her. She's fine. But she was worried
Right.
um, about that. So yeah, she was most definitely an empath.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, that's something that was very strong that came through, was that was her biggest gift. But however, she didn't really like to talk about it very much because one, she didn't quite understand it herself, and the more she realized what this was, the stronger she got in it. But just like you, it took her a long time to be confident in it, even though she knew she was different, but she just didn't know exactly how different she was. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And like I said, she wants you to know that she's very proud of you for making your own choices and not giving in to what, society or what your family or what other people were trying to tell you, because that's how much, very much she was. And that was the main thing that she was trying to teach you as well, to be your own person. And she says now that she sees you being your own person, again, it just makes her very proud and very happy to watch you grow in your spirituality. And again, she wants you to know that there's more things coming, in regards to gifts, in regards to your spirituality. She wants you to be prepared for what's to come. It's almost going to be like a major awakening that you're going to be feeling. You're going to feel like, you're going to feel it in the pit of your gut. You're going to feel it in the pit of your stomach, like, whoa, this is something new. Does that make sense? Because that's usually what happens whenever we gain another gift or whenever we gain something new. We feel it inside of us, but at the same time, we're kind of like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? I don't know
Yeah,
if it's something you have already been feeling. I'm kind of getting the feeling that you kind of already been feeling that. And at the same time, again, maybe you were questioning it as to what exactly it was, or maybe that's what's going to be coming to you in the next, month or so, because that's definitely what I'm feeling. And has that made sense in any way to you?
yeah, it does make sense because um, you know, I've had a few experiences with where I've actually seen things within, you know, like within the spirit world,
Right.
and I've always been very sensitive
Mhm.
in that area. I didn't understand it because nobody around me talked about it, but I was
Mhm.
always, as a kid, very kind of sensitive to atmospheres in buildings, you know, in places that we went to visit or stay.
Me too.
And I've been thinking lately that I would really like to develop that more, you know, um, and
Right.
kind of not be so afraid of it,
Afraid.
but
Right.
yeah, embrace it and yeah,
Well, she says
so,
soon you are going
yeah,
to embrace
bang on.
it, and yeah, she said soon you are going to embrace it. You're going to feel more confident with yourself, because that's what I like to tell people. It's all about confidence, right? You already have the ability within you, and the more you feel stronger, the more you feel confident, it's just going to come naturally. You know what I'm saying? And you do have to realize, yes, there are good things and there are bad things in the spirit world, just how it is here on the earthly realm. There's good people and there's bad
Yeah,
people, that's what the balance is about. But I always try to tell people we have the power over these, bad spirits. We have the power over these negative energies. And so long as we speak our authority, so long as we speak our power, these negative energies don't have the right to stay in your energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I know you had mentioned in our live last time that you had felt like there was a negative energy in your house, but you said you told it to go away. Is that correct?
That's
Right?
right. I did. I filmed it. I
Mm-hmm.
think I told you that this the first time I'd actually been able to film it, and it
Yeah.
was my dog. It was Mabel. She's my
Uh-huh.
little spirit detector,
Mm-hmm.
and she didn't like it, and she was growling. Um, so I did. I told it to go away because it was upsetting my dog.
Right. And let me ask you this. Have you felt that spirit around you ever since you were a child? Have you felt that negative spirit trying to follow you?
Yeah, well, since I was, it's been around for about 30 years. So when I was 19, it
Mhm,
first started. Yeah, so it's been a long time. And I've
mhm,
just felt recently that, um, I need to stand up for myself and not be afraid of it.
mhm.
And to also have the ability to let it know that this is my house, this
Yeah.
is my body, this is my life, and that I'm in control of it, and I need to learn how to do that and be more confident,
Well,
exactly as you said, confidence.
I definitely see the confidence brewing inside of you. And like I said, because you're gaining that confidence, you're going to start to feel like all these things kind of come into play. What that spirit was is, I like to call there's different types of negative spirits in the spirit world, right? What I believe that spirit was, it's called, have you ever heard of familiar spirits? Have you ever heard of that term before?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, what a familiar spirit is to me is a spirit that has been around in your family almost since like the beginning of times. Because they're the familiar spirits. They like to come in generation after generation and try to push you to do the same exact thing as previous generations because they realized, oh, I can get one person to do this and it worked for them. I can do it for the rest of the generations to come, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
It
Um,
does. Yeah.
so that's definitely the type of spirit that I feel that was, trying to bring you down, because you decided to drift off on your own journey. That's what got it mad and was like, no, like that's not happening. You have to come back and you have to be like, the rest of your family. And that's why, you kind of felt that spirit. And that's why it's been following you since you were, what you said, 30 years now, right?
Yeah.
Because it was trying to get to you as best as it could. And sometimes I tell people too, they like to attack you physically as well. Like if you ever had problems, health issues, or if you've ever had, anxiety problems or stress, and you feel like, as you said, you mentioned fatigue. They like
Yeah.
to get you physically. That way you don't feel strong mentally. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's definitely the type of spirit that was following you around. And I like that you have been showing it power because that's what you need to do. Let's show it power, continue to tell it that it is not welcome, and it will soon just like be like, okay, I give up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's my aim.
Yeah, and I love that. Um, Let me see if they have if your Nana has any other messages. But right now, she seems to be pretty happy with everything that was said. Okay, but let me see. Let me see. Any other messages you have for Becca? Mm, no, I'm not. I'm not really getting anything else. I think she just really wanted to tell you that she's proud of your journey and that soon to expect more to come. is the main messages. And she also wants you to know that if you ever need her guidance, she is the first one to kind of come about and, help you with your guidance. So don't be afraid to call on her either, because I always try to tell people too, because she came in fairly quickly. And normally when that happens, that means that they're already there, like with you kind of thing, and that they're there set watching over you. So she wants you to know that if you ever need guidance or if you ever need answers, to call on her, and she will definitely come and try to help you as best as she can. But that's basically all the messages that I believe she has for you. I can definitely get into the tarot cards now if you have any other, specific questions you want answered with that.
No, I mean that's great to know. I've always wanted to. I've always thought to myself, if I was going to have somebody around me, I would always want it to be her, and
Yeah.
know that she is around. It's all I could ask for, really.
Oh yeah, she's around. Don't worry, she's definitely around. And like I said, I feel like she's one of your main protectors, and that's why she wanted to come in fairly fast. Because sometimes, like I said, I don't know if you have seen my previous mediumship streams. Sometimes it takes a while for a certain person to come in, and what that tells me is that they're not necessarily around there 24/7 watching over you. And like I said, I feel like you get a lot of your qualities and a lot of your gifts from your Nana, and because of that, and like because you're different, because you kind of broke the cycle, and because you broke the chain of your ancestors and whatnot, I think that's why she is sticking on to you, because she likes your energy. And like I said, she feels like you're almost just like her, in a way.
Yeah, I feel like that. I do feel, I feel her kind of inside me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And when I'm doing things around the house, or I do it the way she did it, and then she'll come into my mind. So yeah, she's there all the time, in here and in here. I'm focused on her pretty much,
All the
some
time.
part of every day, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. I'm the same way with my grandfather too, because me and my grandfather, I mean, we weren't like, super close, but I like to believe we were close. I was always at his house, spending the night, because I was also very close to my aunt. And so I was always at their house, spending the night and whatnot. And I think that's why I connected to him so much. And I think that's why I knew a couple of weeks ahead of time that it was his time to pass on to the next journey, to pass on to the next life,
Yeah.
So whenever we form that bond with somebody, they're going to stay with you throughout every, lifetime, so long as you allow them to, and so long as you welcome their energy, that's what it's all about. And that's what I like to tell people too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she's she's definitely here now, and now I know that you've spotted it too. So that's just like confirmation, really. So
Yeah.
thank you for that.
My pleasure. Yeah. Well, like I said, if there's anything else, you guys, if not, we'll probably go ahead and end from here. It's already been an hour, Miss Becca.
I know. I just looked at that, 1 hour and 7 minutes. Goodness, that has gone so fast. But I've really enjoyed it.
Me too. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on in my channel. I enjoyed so much the live on your channel. That's why I was like, hey, you have to come on my channel now.
I've loved it, and thank you for asking me. It's a pleasure.
My pleasure. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and head out. So bye, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for all your questions and all your support. Please make sure you go subscribe to Miss Becca at her channel. I know Miss Elizabeth, my awesome one of my awesome moderators, have been putting your link to your channel in the comment section. That way it makes it that much easier to go and click to you, So please, guys, make sure you go subscribe to her. Her channel name is Becca Talks and Tarot. I promise you will not be disappointed. I have been subscribed to you at least over a year now, from what I can remember. Time goes by so fast that I forget.
I know. Yeah, me too.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.